So as an example of finding potential clients to work with, this is what you could do on social media. Getting that first client is probably the hardest of them all, because once you have that first client, getting the second, third, and even fourth client is an easier process. You already have the knowledge to know exactly what you need to do. How do you actually get the first client when you don't have expertise, when you don't have client testimonials, case studies, and all that? This is exactly what I'm going to cover in today's video. Let's get right into it. What I'm going to show you today is the sample success showcase. And what this framework allows you to do is follow a few steps to have something to actually show to clients. And by doing so, you'll be able to showcase your expertise, personalize the experience, and establish credibility. These three factors are crucial. First of all, when you showcase your expertise, you demonstrate what you are able to do. At the same time, you're also building your confidence in the skills that you are developing. When you personalize the experience for the clients, you're creating something that the client can actually use, rather than sending something generic that is clearly not meant for the specific client. And finally, when you establish credibility, you're able to prove the claims about what you're able to deliver, which is something that not everyone is able to do. So what is this sample success showcase, and how do you actually deliver it? So these are the steps that you should keep in mind. Number one, you should find your ideal clients and initiate outreach. This is the first step. Secondly, you're going to create your sample success showcase piece. Then you're going to contact the client and say something specific. You're going to repeat this process until you get your first few clients. I'm going to show you what to do when they say yes or even no. And then you get on a call and show them what you can offer them through a human interaction. Let's start by speaking about how to find your ideal clients. First of all, you need to define your target audience. So identify the characteristics and demographics of your ideal clients. If you're working or want to work with fitness professionals, these people hang out in specific groups. Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Probably they're not on LinkedIn because it's not really a business-to-business kind of audience. If they're on Instagram, which channels do they follow? If they're on Facebook, which groups are they in? What kind of questions do they post? These are all important questions that you must know and you must be able to answer. Secondly, you should research industry trends. Knowing what's happening right now when it comes to trends and changes in your industry is important. You should know what people are actively looking for, what they're actively speaking about, and how this is impacting their business. And finally, you need to utilize social media. And the point of social media is that you're able to engage with your target audience. When you have conversations, this is where the best results happen. That is how people interact, how people communicate. So being part of that crowd and having those initial conversations will allow you to get the clients that you want to work with. And this brings me to one of the first clients I ever worked with. The person had a group coaching service and he wanted to get more clients. It was almost Thanksgiving and he was running a specific kind of promotion to get more clients to join his 6-week coaching group for that period. What I did is that I helped him identify his missing links. I helped him overcome his obstacles, which were the things that were mainly keeping him from taking those steps that he knew he had to take. And together we created a plan. We had goals in mind that we agreed together would be achievable. And what I offered him was something that was reliant on, so he was going to actually be getting a refund if the goals weren't met. For that kind of client, that was what was needed to close him. At a time and place where I didn't have any other case studies that I could show. It was something that I knew I could deliver on, but it was also a risk on my part. So this is something I'll speak about as well when it comes to the risks that you might want to take at the beginning. The second step is to create compelling showcases, and these can be of different kinds. For example, there's free samples where you offer small samples of your work to potential clients to demonstrate your capabilities. It could be portfolio highlights, so you share a specific example that relates to what the clients might need That, and this is the key, that closely aligns with what their needs might be. If I had to choose, I would go for free samples, because for portfolio highlights, you're not actually differentiating yourself from others. You could also have, again, case studies that are closely aligned with what potential clients might need. However, the best thing you can do is create a showcase of what you can deliver for that client. This is ultimately what clients would be attracted to the most. And these free samples will obviously depend on the type of service that you offer. If you're a content writer, it could mean creating a sample blog post for potential client's blog. If you're a graphic designer, it could mean creating a design mockup to help the client understand what kind of work you'll be doing. If you're a programmer, it could mean writing some sample code. So it obviously depends on the kind of product that you deliver. If you're in SEO, you could also offer a site audit, and this is one of the best ways I found to get SEO clients. You offer an audit that you've run for the client, where you highlight what's not going so well with the site, which also means that you're showing the potential improvements and what these could mean for the client. The next step would then be to share these results with the client as a sample of what you can do, and offering to fix the problems for the client and even do additional work to help them increase their SEO ratings. When it comes to SEO, tools like Screaming Frog and Ahrefs can really help with creating something that clients can see is made for them and that they can get actual value from. The next step is to contact the clients and say, hey, I created something to help you. You're free to use it without any conditions, just let me know how it goes. And this is the very crucial part. If you know someone who would benefit from similar work, please let me know, because I'm just trying to grow my portfolio. So this does a few things. First of all, you're saying that you've created something to help the client. Secondly, you're telling them you can use it without any condition. It's for you, it's a gift, use it as you please. Thirdly, you're telling them if you find it useful, let me know. So you're not asking for much, just that if they found it useful, the obvious natural thing is for them to let you know. And most importantly, you're asking them if someone that they know would actually benefit from this kind of work. Now, if you've created something of value, they will come back to you with a few possible responses. Now, there are a few things that could happen when they come back to you. In one of the situations that I remember, I sent some sample writing to a potential client. We had a call, which was crazy. I think it was like the craziest call I've ever had. The guy was literally driving his scooter in the middle of New York. The call started. He told me, like, 1 second, he parked on the side. Cars and people and other motorcycles and scooters are flying past him on the side. We had like a 5-minute interview, and then he told me, okay, great, I'll send you like what comes after. I'll send you the next task. And that was a client that I've had a long working relationship with. So this was just based off an initial sample of work that I sent him. In other cases, it will take more. It will take a lot of back and forth until you actually get them to become your client. However, it's also the more you do of something, the higher your chances are. So this is just one tangent that I wanted to bring up. So you repeat this process until you get your first few clients. Now, this is what happens. If they say yes, they might say, yes, I know someone that can benefit from this work, and it's actually myself. That is something that happens quite regularly if you've created something of value. So in that case, you have a client that you actually start charging for. If they say no, in the sense that they're not in need of someone, but they know of someone, then chances are that you'll get that client. In that case, you ask this person to make an introduction. You tell them that they can keep the work as long as they make an introduction, whether it's an email, a message on social media. The best way to do it is to ask for a 3-way introduction. So if it's an email, the person would email the potential client and include you in the email. So like that, you can just keep going with the conversation. If they say no, then you ask them for feedback. Tell them that you want to improve and that you're trying to get their feedback to see how that could actually happen. Finally, if they say yes, but maybe, so if they're not 100% sure of the whole thing, it's easier to get them on a call and close them. When they're on a call, you can explain further about what you do. Most importantly, you can tell them exactly how you're going to help them and the value that you're going to be providing. And by doing so, it will be easier for you to close them. They'll be able to ask questions, you'll be able to answer them. So this is the start of the relationship. Also, one story I wanted to mention at this point is that not everyone that says no will stay a no. And what I mean is that there was a person that said, no, I like your work, but I don't have any use for it at this point, and I don't know anyone that does need such work. It was okay. Days passed, months passed. Randomly, after a few months, the person sent me an email and he said, I know of someone that might need your services. Would you mind getting in touch with them? And I actually did, and ended up doing some website work for the person. So even though you might not see results from some people immediately, you're still planting seeds that might result in something down the line. So never burn bridges, and always remember that people will remember if you've created something of value when they need it. So keep that in mind. So why does this method work? And there are a few reasons. Number one, you're demonstrating your skills. You're showcasing specific examples of past projects. So this is important as well. If you have past projects, don't be afraid to show them. But at the same time, you're demonstrating how your skills will be able to help them specifically. It builds your confidence and their confidence. When you create something that is specific to them, it serves to build the confidence in what you're saying and that you can actually deliver. Recently, I was speaking to someone who just created their group coaching program. And when I asked the question, like, do you have any case studies? Do you have any testimonials? The person said, I don't, because I just started this very recent. It's just a matter of weeks. But what I can offer is that I will work with you until you get results, which in that moment, as someone looking to potentially hire this person to do specific work, wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear. So if you can showcase your expertise by doing something specific to help the person, even if you don't have specific case studies or testimonials, could be a roundabout way of getting around it. And most importantly, you stand out. Not everyone will take the time to create this, and that is exactly why you might want to do it, because it will allow you to stand out from the market. Another important aspect to consider is the psychological appeal of samples. Building trust is something that happens when you give something of value to others. You're being transparent about what you can do. You can even couple this with saying you're not good at some things, your weaknesses lie in specific things, because then when you contrast that with what you're good at, it makes your claim more believable. In a world where people are used to everyone trying to shout louder than the other person, being able to admit that you are weak in specific areas, by contrast, when you say, I'm good at these things, it makes your claim even more believable. And this is a very good advantage to have. Moreover, there's also reciprocity, where when you give something of value for free, people will want to give something back. I'm sure you've heard about the experiments where people would go up to strangers at the airport and give them a free flower. Then some people would give a tip, $1 or $2, to the people that gave them the flower, even though it wasn't something that they asked for. It's just human nature, and the desire to reciprocate when someone does something good or of value for you. Again, the key here is that if you're going to do this, if you're going to offer samples, they need to be high quality samples. A few other aspects to consider is that delivering samples leads to immediate value and relevance. Sometimes when you start working with clients, it's tough to deliver something immediately, whereas like this, you're delivering something even before that length of time that usually would have passed. So here you're delivering value, which is immediate. It's also relevant to client needs. As I mentioned before, you're tailoring the sample to address specific challenges or goals of the client. It's specific problems that the client is facing that are affecting how much money they are making, and you're addressing that head on. Finally, a few other things to consider is that providing these samples creates engagement opportunities. A conversation is actually something that occurs. When you send someone something, they will reply back. You're then able to reply back to them, and so on and so forth. Finally, it also creates a feedback loop. Even if they don't like the work, They can give you feedback about what they don't like about it. You can get better at it. You can improve the service that you provide. And you're essentially getting feedback for free. You're not spending any money. You're, yes, spending time to create it, but it will get better with each iteration that you do. Now, a few things to consider is that when providing samples, you need to think about two things. Number one is time management. It is something that requires a time investment, and you need to ensure it is sustainable and doesn't detract from paid projects. So this would be something that you do when you are trying to get clients. Once you get clients, you would not necessarily want to keep doing it for free. You would want to rely on word of mouth, on getting other clients to refer others, because this is something that will take up time. Next, you're also setting precedents. When you create samples, it's important that the clients understand this is a one-time thing. It's not something that you will do for free. You are a person that has other clients, that wants to provide valuable content, and you can't keep offering free stuff forever. So it's also important to set the right boundaries and expectations. So I remember the time when I was just starting out my freelancing career, and there was this potential client that wanted a 6,000 word article on Shopify. I had reached out with a smaller sample, but the client was adamant that he wanted me to do this test to see whether I could deliver. And being that I had just started out, it was something that I was prepared to invest time in. But unfortunately, it didn't really work out. The client took a long time to get back to me because of a lot of excuses. First it was illness, then it was business, and then there was like, I'm hiring someone to edit the articles and he'll provide feedback. It was a whole chain of back and forth kind of situation. Then after 3 or 4 months, the person got back to me and was like, this is no good, there's a lot of mistakes in it, you'll have to redo it again, then we'll have to work on it again. And could it have been better? Sure. After a few years of doing this, I understand that it wasn't as high quality as the work that I do now. At the same time, it was much more than someone should be asking for when someone is doing something for free. But at the same time, it was a good learning experience. I didn't get the client, it was wasted time in that regards, but there were a lot of lessons that I learned from that particular task. What I'm telling you is that be mindful of people that are trying to take advantage of you, and always remember that there's more clients that you could work with. Clients that, as long as you're providing value, would value the work that you do. So as an example of finding potential clients to work with, this is what you could do on social media. So let's say that I'm on Instagram and I'm searching for fitness trainers. I can search for those that are for me, so somehow personalized results, or I can even search for those that are not personalized. So here I have a list of fitness trainers that might make sense for me to reach out to. So let's just open a few and see what comes up. So let's say that I'm looking at this profile. So lifestyle, creative, reserve, collab, let's see, online maintenance. So the person offers different programs, I guess. My name is Nadia, stretching and fitness coach. My services include figure correction, muscle muscling, okay. How are the training sessions going? So one thing I noticed that the person isn't a native English speaker. So this could be something that I could offer help with. Am I shy, afraid to start working out? So I can offer to create a better depth link page. Or I could actually, that could be the sample that I offer this person. Taking this and creating a better version of it. So let's open one of these. So when I click here, I don't actually see the item that I actually clicked for or clicked on. So I click on make a training program and I get sent to this generic profile. So again, I could record a video where I share information with this person about how their page could be better if it was written in better English, and then come up with information of what could be done to make their process better. Let's try another one. So this person seems to have a YouTube channel. For different workouts. I noticed that the person doesn't have a website listed here. So if I go to about, there's just an Instagram listed. So when I googled up, I could create a text version of this person's homepage and how I envision it could look like. Let's have another look at another one. So look at the website. So this is in Spanish. So again, I could offer to translate the site if this is something that I want to do. Let's have a look at the last one, again for online training. So this person doesn't have a website and is relying on people sending direct messages to her in order to get their training. So what I could do is have a look at her profile, see if it's someone I want to work with, see what values she shows in her profile, and then use that to create some sample text that she could be able to use on her homepage. And like that, I could start the relationship. One thing I will mention is that you might not want to do the work before someone actually says that they want to see what you've created. If you want to reach out to as many people as possible, telling them that you have created some work for them and asking for their permission to send it to them could be one way of doing it. Once the people say that they want to see it, you then actually create the work. And like that, you're eliminating those that either don't get back to you or aren't interested in seeing what you can offer. Then, for those that actually say, yes, send me this stuff, you actually create the best version of the sample that you're creating. So that is another way that might be worth exploring. Following the sample success showcase is a proven way to get clients. You send them a sample that is relevant to them, that provides value to their particular situation and to their business, and allows you to get your foot in the door. By creating this valuable piece of content, you show them that you've taken the time to find out more about their business and that you can really help them with what they're trying to achieve. Once they are either interested in what you're saying, or even if they're not, telling you that someone they know might be interested, then you have potentially your first client. You repeat this until you get a few clients, and then you rely on word of mouth and referrals to get even more. And this is how you get started when it comes to your freelancing business. I hope that you found this video useful, and if you want to get my freelancing checklist to help you get started, check out the link in the description. I'll speak to you in the next video.